the light? Sure. All right. What is the most important part of a speech? Is it that dramatic opening where you grab the audience? Or is it those great transitions you use as you go through the body of your speech? The voice volume, your gestures. Is that it? Is that the most important part of a speech? No, it is not. The most important part of any speech is how your audience feels when you end that speech and they walk out the door. This morning, my fellow Toastmasters, I'm going to share with you some ideas that can make your speech more memorable. It is the last thing you say in your speech that your audience remembers the most. One of my favorite books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, is my inspiration when I write a speech. And I use habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. I always start, when I prepare a speech, with my conclusion. What is it I want my audience to remember? What do I want them to take away from my talk? That's where I start. Then the beginning, then the body, then it all flows. So what I'm going to do with you this morning is share 4 ideas that will help make your conclusions a bit stronger and a bit better. The first is let's signal the audience that we're about to end. Now we use some sayings like in conclusion, in summary. Be a little bit more colorful. Like, I would like to leave you with this. Let's end this message with this. And when you say that and you give them the signal, guess what? Your audience listens. And the reason they do is because we have been trained that we know when a speech is about to end, the speaker is going to give us the main points again of the speech. And our antennas go up. And that's usually the time we start writing down what the points were. The second one, is what I call the callback. We reiterate the point of the speech, letting the audience again experience what those ideas that you want to convey to them. The third is how do you deal with questions and answers in a speech? Now here in Toastmasters, most of our speeches are too short to have a question and answer session. But you know, some of us are going to get an opportunity to go in front of a group and give a longer speech, and there's going to be a question and answer session at the end. What I would suggest, don't put it at quite the end of the speech, maybe 90% into it. When I was selling land in Mexico, I used to do a 45-minute to an hour presentation a couple of times a week, and I knew we would do a question and answer session. But I wouldn't put it quite at the end of the presentation, about 90% into it. And I'd start it like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a short question and answer session. And then I'm going to share with you how you can come down and spend a few days with us in beautiful, sunny, warm Baja California. Why did I do that? Because I teased the audience that something else is going to come after the question and answer. And there's a second reason you want to do that. The question and answers that hold them off. Because you don't know what the audience is going to ask. They may ask about horses, or they may ask about something weird that you don't want the audience to remember about your speech. So this way you have a way to get around that and have a teaser for them to come back to. And the fourth thing is what I call a lasting anchor. Something that you give, the last sentence, the last 2 sentences that you give to your audience, that they will anchor on your message. It could be a story, a quote, or a call to action. Those are the things that you want your audience to remember about your speech. So that anchor is important. That those last things, those quotes, will help your speech be a little bit more dramatic. So before we end with this topic here, let's review what I just shared with you. First is signal the audience you're about to end. And I just did that. I signaled that we're about to end by telling you we're going to end. The second is reiterate the points of your presentation. What do you want them to know about that? And I'm doing that right now by summarizing and giving you the 4 points that we're going to be talking about. Third is how you handle questions and answers. My suggestion, don't put them at the exact end, put them before that, and give the audience a teaser. What's going to come after the question and answer? And the fourth is that lasting anchor. Something they will remember at the end of your speech that they're going to walk out, and that's going to be in their mind, in their hearts. You know, when we get in front of a group, we have 4 goals. One of 4 goals. We want to either inform somebody, we want to persuade our audience, we may want to even entertain them, or inspire them. Whatever your goal is, it is that strong closing, that anchor that you leave them with, that will make you more memorable. Remember, begin with the end in mind. Mr. Toastmaster.